Hello everybody, and this is my recently purchased 535D. It's got 245,000 miles on the clock, and today we're going to be doing a review on it. For this 5 Series, I've got to say, for its age, they have aged remarkably well, considering, one, the year it's come from, 2007, and two, when it was first released, it was considered somewhat of an ugly duckling. So I just want to walk you around the car first of all. So first of all, we're looking at these wheels. These are off a 6 Series. These are 19 inches with a 245 on the front and a 275 on the rear, with a rather nice staggered setup. And then also there is this AC Schnitzer rear spoiler, which I really think complements the car very well. With BMWs, just in general, I think spoilers ruin them a lot of the time, and it's hard to get a decent one. So I think your only real way to go is a dovetail, and you know, this doesn't look too chavvy. It just looks like it's sort of supposed to be on the car as well, which I really like. So the next thing I want to talk about is the boot. In here you can be greeted with 520 litres of storage room, but the only issue is, and it's a typical thing with these BMWs, is that the rear seats don't drop, so you can't really go any further, and plus you're restricted by height. So although it is a big space, you know, you're very limited on what you can haul about. So on the off chance you ever needed to haul a washing machine, I know it seems a bit crazy, but it happens to all of us at some point in our life. You need to haul a washing machine. You won't be able to do that in this. Okay, so next we're going to talk about the business end of the car, which is under the bonnet, the engine. So typically this is a M57 engine, the 3 litre with twin turbo, but it's technically a bi-turbo because it's a smaller turbo with a big turbo, which equals basically instant torque. These engines are pretty reliable. Obviously, goes without saying, you need the general maintenance as well, otherwise it won't last long, just like any other car really. The main failing point on these is the swirl flaps, so if you ever get one of these, especially a high mileage model, you want to make sure them swirl flaps are removed. Other than that, it's not too bad, apart from belts and things like that, and thermostats going on higher mileage models. The chains tend to be quite durable. This one has had a chain changed. Obviously with it doing 245,000 miles, you'd like to think it's had a chain done. But there are some examples out there which are higher miles that are still on the original chain. So it's a tiny bit of a risk, but you're probably going to be alright. This engine pumps out a rather nice 282 brake horsepower. But where it gets interesting is the newton meters of torque, because this produces a whopping 580 newton meters of torque. And you can really feel it when you put your foot down. The next thing is the rear seats. Now, this is a really nice place to be, and so it should be, given the history of this car. When it first began life, it started as an airport taxi. So for the first 3 years of its life, it managed to munch up 80,000 miles, and for 2 years after that, it was 50,000 miles per year. So you can imagine the amount of people who's probably been in the back of here. But they wouldn't have had a bad time by any means. Down where the fans are, you have heat and cold setting, you have on and off for the fans, you have the AUX port so you can choose the music, and also you have 2 electric outputs so you can charge your phone as well. And then it gets even better, because here you have 2 cup holders for the rear, and they don't feel cheap, they feel quite well made, to be fair. And the deep cup holders as well, so no matter what's going off, you know it's going to keep your drinks nice and steady. And obviously there is a bit of storage under here as well, but if you're in a taxi like environment, you're not really going to be using storage anyway. And then in terms of room, you've got plenty of space, head space, you know, I've got decent space. And leg room, there is so much leg room. There's leg room for days, because this is my driving position and I sit quite far back as it is, and like the leg room here is unreal. I don't think it's too bad. You can fit your feet underneath the seat, and there's only a tiny gap here between the seats, so you've got your legs up like that, but if you just relax, it's not too bad really. There's plenty of space, and also, you know, if you've got somebody sat in the other side, you're not going to be shoulder to shoulder with them, so it's rather nice. So moving on to the front, it's really is a nice place to be, and it makes you feel quite special, if I have to be honest. You have a nice chunky steering wheel, with it being the M Sport edition. You have, you've got the nice M Sport body kit on it. You've got the nice M Sport seats with adjustable headrests, electric seats. We get the flappy paddle shifters, and also you get climate control, cruise control, lane assist, and obviously your basic iDrive. Also, you do get your heated seats and all-round parking sensors, which is very nice. And again, space-wise, it's an absolute brilliant place to sit, because even with your passenger there, you're not really going to catch elbows too much. You have an adjustable section here for your armrest, and you've got plenty of storage under here. You can get rid of this phone thing, because obviously nobody has a phone like that anymore. Plenty of space, cup holder for the driver, cup holder for the passenger, and it's just really nice place to be. The only sort of qualm I have with this area is the piano black. I just think it's just one of those things that gets dirty really easy. I think the silver might have complemented it better, or even sort of a matte type of black, but I don't know. It's growing on me a bit, but if I had a choice, I'd probably choose the silver. Okay, so now on to driving. Now obviously this car is 282 brake horsepower, and it really does shift. But the only problem is sometimes is all that power going to the rear wheels, it can sometimes struggle to keep that power down, and you can have the traction light flashing away at you. So obviously sometimes it does have to be nice weather if you really want to give it some beans and for it to hook up. So with the M Sport seats, it is really comfortable, and you can just drive it nicely. You don't have to be driving at 1,000,000 miles per hour. But again, if you want that power, then by God is it there. And it does not mess about getting up to speed at all. Even for a car with 245,000 miles on the clock, it doesn't feel like it's done the mileage. It really doesn't. It still picks up, it's still comfy to hop in and out of, and you can still just use it on daily use, and it just takes it. And really is a testament to BMW and the M57 engine for the comfort and reliability of things. To sum up, I'd basically say this car it's a lot of fun, and it's quite good MPG for what it is. You can range from 30 MPG around town. You can get maybe 50 out of it on a run, or just over. And it's quite a good car for that. If you're looking for a bit of fun and you're mechanically minded, it's quite a good car to have. But if you're not too mechanically minded, you might want to stray away from it. It is fun, and you do get a lot of joy out of it, but the maintenance bills could get on top of you quite easily if you're just going to a garage every time. And plus, these cars, they really require top end parts. Like, you can't just use cheap stuff on these. They do not like it. So yeah, so it's one of those cars where I'd really encourage you, if you can, try and experience one day, because they are amazing. They are absolutely amazing. But thank you for watching the video. If you did like this review, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe even hit that bell icon for notifications on future uploads. But until the next time, peace.